And Neil will now share with us an overview of Revelation 14. Thank you, Neil.
That's great, Heather. Revelation 14 starts out with a lamb. That is Jesus on Mount Sion, the mountain of God. And before him there's 144,000. They're the pure ones who have not bowed the knee to Satan, who have lived a spotless life in Jesus, symbolically representing 12,000 from each tribe of Israel. They're a very special group of God's vast number of redeemed people. These 144,000 surround the throne room of God. Revelation is absolutely brilliant literature. There are many layers and there are many symbols in the book itself. But here now we can just see in a very simplistic way the chiastic structure of the book of Revelation. A chiasm is a pattern that a Hebrew writer used to highlight parallels in a document, to also point out to the astute reader, worthy of the prize, what the central point of the passage or book was about. And make no mistake, what we're about to uncover is the most important part of Revelation. It is a message for all mankind. Revelation 14:6 says, "Then I saw another angel flying in the midst of heaven, having the everlasting gospel to preach to those who dwell on the earth, to every nation, tribe, tongue, and people, saying with a loud voice, Fear God and give glory to him, for the hour of his judgment has come." First angel's message is a call to worship the Creator, to worship him who made the heaven and earth, the sea and the springs of water. At a time when humanity has abandoned belief in a creator God and turned to evolutionary fables, the cry of this ancient prophecy seems even more urgent. Worship the Creator. Turn to him while there is still time, because, as we have seen, time is very short. When God finished creating, he also set apart one day each week as a special day, sanctified, set apart, in which God would be present to meet with his people. The seventh day of the week, we call Saturday, is the only day God blessed, rested on and sanctified. Every week, Seventh-day Adventists gather to worship the Creator and remember his power, majesty and work of redemption for fallen mankind. The next message that the angels bring is a call to action. Babylon, the confusing mix of truth with error, Babylon is fallen. What was once pure is now a harlot, and she is spiritually bankrupt. And because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and this wine of her fornication is the mixing of truth with error, seducing people into false worship and belief, a truly deadly mix. That's why, as Seventh-day Adventists, we place a high regard for biblical truth. If it's in the Bible, then we will do it. The third angel's message is an urgent warning about not receiving the mark of the beast, and a mark is a sign of her authority and power. Instead, God's people are to remain loyal and true even under death. And God's people are urged to keep remaining faithful to Jesus no matter what takes place. Now, we live in an age when many Christians will say that the Ten Commandments have been done away with. Yet, according to the book of Revelation, the commandments will be kept by God's people right throughout history. And Revelation 13 and 14 reminds us very quickly of a story out of Daniel 3 in which three young men are faced with a decision to obey the king or to obey God. They choose to obey God. So while thousands were happy to bow the knee to the image, these three young men stood tall for God, even under threat of death. The king was furious with rage and threw them into a furnace that was superheated. And while the soldiers who threw them in died, God rescued his young men from the furnace. And the king exclaimed, "I see four men loose walking in the midst of the fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God." Well, the same threat will be made again according to Revelation. And the warning we are to heed is to avoid this false worship. We're to worship in spirit and in truth, Jesus said, with our whole heart and mind. So the message of Revelation 14 is a message to worship the Creator, to remain loyal to him and don't abandon the faith. Babylon is fallen. She is spiritually bankrupt power, and if you worship her image she is set up, even though it looks so attractive and right, it would lead you to the wrong place. This will require endurance, patience and faith in Jesus to get you through, and it starts now. Jesus said, "If you love me, keep my commandments, and that will keep you safe."